So the unthinkable has happened. Call of Duty, Treyarch, let's switch things up later today. We'll have two playlists in the Black Ops 7 beta, Mosh Pit, and a new option, Open Mosh Pit. Open Mosh Pit features classic matchmaking where skill is minimally considered, featuring team deathmatch, kill confirmed, domination, hardpoint, and overload. Ladies and gentlemen, Treyarch are removing skill-based matchmaking in the Black Ops 7 beta under the Open Mosh Pit playlist. I actually thought that was never going to be something I would ever say, that they were looking at removing skill-based matchmaking. But I should be jumping for joy, right? I should be. Call of Duty, you know, one of my favourite games growing up, is removing the biggest plague in gaming, and I should be so happy. I should be wanting to play Call of Duty, except I just feel a wee bit kind of angry at this news. And I know what you're saying so far, right? Why are you angry? Because they're removing, or they're going to look at testing out and fixing the skill-based matchmaking. Let me show you this next tweet, right? This is Treyarch a couple of hours after they put out that first tweet that I read out there, right? We are excited to see the response to today's Open Mosh Pit playlist change with classic matchmaking where skill is minimally considered. Blah, 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 they're always listening to the community, beta's about trying new things. No, it's not, because the beta for Call of Duty is simply just a pre-order tactic. This is the most annoying thing for me, right? It had to take until Battlefield was releasing. It had to take to get that competition out for Call of Duty to go, do you know what? We'll give you exactly what you've been complaining about for 5 and 6 years. But it's just, it's frustrating. It's also a good thing, right? Don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted, right? This is obviously very, very good for the players. I'm very, very happy that they're looking at this strategy, or at least they're taking on the feedback. When you've been alienating your player base for so long, and the only reason that you're doing it is because there's some competition, that's pretty bad. That says to me, you don't listen to your fucking player base. That says to me, oh shit, we've got low pre-order numbers and nobody's playing our game. Take out that ace card out your sleeve. Remove skill-based matchmaking for a bit. That'll fucking keep them sweet. Like, I just knew it. I just knew they were going to play this card when something wasn't going their way. It's like they've created a problem and they're selling as the solution. And it's just, it's so fucking frustrating, man. But at the same time, I'm kind of happy that this is happening. It's so strange. Like, it's so bizarre, man. Like, I said it in multiple videos, and I've said it in streams, I've said it at a lot of places, man. Like, they've been holding on to this card for so long, and they're pulling out they're pulling out the card out the sleeve, man, to actually physically give what the player base wants. Now, I mentioned I was a bit frustrated at this, right? Because Call of Duty is a game I grew up playing since COD 4. I have memories of grinding that game, World at War, MW2, like a lot of prime time gaming in my younger years, especially teenage years, was playing Call of Duty. And even getting into like early adulthood and stuff like that, my 20s, I was still grinding COD. Like, I loved the game. So when this whole big shake-up happened in Modern Warfare 2019, I was like, something isn't right, and I knew straight away something wasn't right with the matchmaking, or something wasn't right with my games. Obviously, throughout the years, we've now known that it's skill-based matchmaking and engagement-optimized matchmaking. It took several years, and it was clearly the whole point of skill-based matchmaking is to keep the majority of the player base on the game. Because, you know, if you've been playing the game for long, you tend to buy skins, you tend to spend a lot of time in it, your battle pass, do you know what I mean? Like, it's another tactic to keep player on the game through this artificially engagement algorithm. I think the real sort of like kind of kicker is we were made to believe over the years that it was quite a drastic change in terms of how the game was played, the algorithm and whatever else, that it was quite hard to actually remove the skill-based matchmaking algorithm, or it'd take quite a long time to adjust it. Whereas with this, the beta's out, everybody's complained about it, and it's just like, okay, yeah, we'll just throw in another playlist with reduced skill-based matchmaking. Like, hang on, wait a minute, was it that easy? And you've just not been listening to us. Like, I know you've got tweets here saying, oh yeah, we listen to community feedback. I mean, I can't really say that about Black Ops 6, man. You fucking avoided the community like the plague. But all of a sudden, you know, people are complaining about skill-based matchmaking. Oh no, Battlefield 6 is coming out. Yeah, let's test into that skill-based matchmaking algorithm again. Let's kind of give a wee carrot on the stick, as they say. As I mentioned, I hate skill-based matchmaking with a passion. So it's weird. Like I said, I should be happy, but I'm just going to throw it back. They had a white paper that they did with Modern Warfare 3, and this was when Modern Warfare 3 Sledgehammer was taking the role of it, and again there was a big increase in people asking about skill-based matchmaking. Sledgehammer ended up doing an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, and 99% of the people on that Reddit case were basically saying skill-based matchmaking, talk to us about it, like tell us, because they were radio silent right until about then. So it kind of forced their hand, and I have a theory that Sledgehammer was the one to really get the ball rolling, because MW3 theoretically was actually, they had a lot of good maps, obviously remastered MW2 maps, and the game wasn't that bad. The one big thing holding it back was skill-based matchmaking, right? So to go through briefly about this white paper, right, this is just kind of like a summary thing, right? They always said to us, connection, time to match, and skill performance. That's the first three in their matchmaking process. They always said, ping is king. Ping is king. That's what they always threw at us, right? It wasn't king. It wasn't king. Why am I getting put into matches where I've got significantly more latency just to play against sweaty tryhards all the time, right? See people now that are playing the Black Ops 7 beta and the no skill-based matchmaking playlist, they're getting connected 10 times quicker, right? That's just another point. I will touch on it a wee bit later as well. So let's just go over a couple of lines on this white paper, right? The test showed that players with a wider skill gap were more likely to quit matches in progress and did not return to the game at a higher rate than players with unchanged matchmaking. The likelihood for a player to quit during a match increased significantly across 80% of players within the study. So they noticed that a lot more people were quitting the games. Return to matchmaking. Within the sample study group, 90% of players in the loosened skill group did not return at a higher rate than the control group. This indicated that low to mid-skill players left the game in greater numbers. Another example was a test to tighten skill in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This had inverse results consistent with the results of the loosening test. Quit rate was down for 90% of players, and we saw other improvements in the experience of low-skill players. However, we observed negative impacts for high-skill players. So what that is basically saying, right, is the change was not rolled out as a standard approach in Call of Duty MW3 as we continue to strive for a better balance and approach our matchmaking. So they found that skill-based matchmaking, in particular strict skill-based matchmaking, actually is a benefit to the franchise and to the game for more low to skilled players, which make up probably about 90% of the player base. So let me throw it in a different light. Basically, if you've been playing Call of Duty for a long time and you've understood the game and you can get to grips with it and you're actually decent at the game, you're going to get penalised. You're going to get heavily penalised for being good at the game. Now here we've got Treyarch coming out here with the, oh yeah, we've got no skill-based matchmaking in this playlist. Come and play it. It'll be good, I promise. So bittersweet. It's something that the loyal fan base have been complaining for a long time, and because there's competition, you threw it. You know what I mean? You threw that card out just in the hope to try and claw people back. I don't know about how you guys feel about it, but it just is like a sheer desperation. They were so hell-bent on this system that's been plaguing the game for a long-ass time, and now there's something coming out. They've just thought, oh, you know what? We were only kidding, you know, we were only joking with you. Come on, back to Black Ops. Come on, come play the same game you've been playing every year for fucking years. So now we need to also factor in is Treyarch telling the truth with this playlist? Have they actually reduced the skill in it? or is it just a placebo effect because they've put it on their social media that this is exactly what they've done? It'll be very, very interesting to see the full results. I've seen some people on X actually say, oh, we're back to classic Call of Duty, but again, it's placebo, and I now know that Treyarch have said there's no skill-based matchmaking in that playlist, so I'm going to feel more obligated to play that playlist and keep playing it because they've told me no skill-based matchmaking's in it. But in the same, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, for the past 5 or 6 years, they've fed us with a lot of shite. They've done stuff in their game that nobody in the community wanted. So it's now at the stage where, do we believe them? Should we believe them? Like, it's one of those things. But I also think because of how shitty received Black Ops 6 was in its entirety, and with the new Warzone updates that they've got, this is literally, this is the last card they could have played, and they're playing it. Ultimately, competition is good, and the players do actually end up benefiting the most from it, which, to be honest, is a W. I don't want to turn this YouTube channel into a whole I just hate Call of Duty and just post hate Call of Duty content all the time. I don't feel like that's productive. I don't feel like it's for me. And to be honest, I don't want one less game to not play. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if Call of Duty ends up good, I'll play it. Do you know what I mean? It's just as simple as that. But there's two things that I love doing. I love talking about games, and I like playing games. So with Battlefield 6 coming out, and obviously Ark Raiders at the end of October as well, they're two big games, new flavourful games that I'm ready to get stuck in and just enjoy. Like, I feel excited about playing that. I feel excited about doing that. For me, I just think it's taken too long for Call of Duty to really captivate me back. And even though they're dangling that skill-based matchmaking carrot right in front of me, I don't feel like I'll bite. They could change a lot of things, man. And at the end of the day, Activision, Call of Duty, they're all about lining the pockets. Like, they're all about money. And I suppose that's what most games are. It's all to try and make money. But this is one of the most greediest company I've ever seen. To the extent where they need to manipulate their player base to try and squeeze out every last second rather than just making a good game straight from the rip. I don't get it, man. When I'm talking about Battlefield, I'm talking about Ark Raiders, I kind of feel excited, man. Like, it's almost the same way of when xDefiant was kind of releasing. Like, I'd based a lot of my content on xDefiant, talking about it, playing the game, streaming the game, and I was generally excited about it. And while I don't think xDefiant was, you know, quote-unquote competition for COD, because obviously xDefiant was just a new game that was being brought up, it was really kind of spearheaded by like Mark Rubin and other content creators that were from the COD scene to try and push the game up. Like I said, I loved xDefiant, I loved making content on it, community was awesome, like a lot of things that I really liked about that. I'm still really, really sad that that game unfortunately died, whereas we've now got things like Battlefield on the other hand, which is an already established IP. It didn't have a great game last time, but with the beta and how well received this is, plus a new Battle Royale, it's coming on the scene and it's coming on heavy. So while I get the sense of they're trying to obviously promote the no skill-based matchmaking, and the thing is, it's going to skew their data. See, if they're trying to gather as much data, they're obviously pushing that narrative of, we don't want skill-based matchmaking, but we're just going to say we're going to gather data, which is fine, but there is obviously long-term repercussions of that. But I am happy that skill-based matchmaking is being addressed here. You know, I'm happy that they're possibly looking at moving it in the future or removing it, or you know, I'm happy about that. But I'm also very skeptical because I know what these mob are like. I know exactly what they're like. But we'll just need to see how it plays out. I've got no doubt in my mind that people, after a couple of weeks of launch, after they say skill-based matchmaking's away, it's going to be a, oh no, they've added it back in, because it's just going to end up a sweaty mess again at some point. So, but I suppose we will see what is happening with this game. It's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time. Still no pre-ordering it though. They can fuck off. If you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Drop a wee comment down below as well. What do you make of this full situation with the removal of skill-based matchmaking apparently? Is it saving COD? Is it not? Because I feel like personally, in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people have been burned so far, so they'll be very, very skeptical. But I can't see myself jumping into COD straight away, if anything. But I appreciate you guys watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.